Hello everybody and welcome back to Full House Sports here, myself Charlie. And before the video starts, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Now, Wednesday night I headed to Molineux with my team, Nottingham Forest, to watch us play Wolves. It was a fairly drab game, to be honest with you. Yeah, not a lot to write home about. I thought Jesus was the difference. I thought he played really well holding the ball up. Forest obviously missing some players, Murillo especially, because Morato is, well, not even sure where to begin with him. But all in all, it was 3 points. It's a big 3 points in the context of our season. And hopefully, it just continues this good run of form with the Brighton game being a bit of a blip. But one thing I wanted to talk about was Wolves, because I think what is happening there is really underreported. And not just underreported, but not talked about enough, which is that Fosun, their owners, have pretty much single-handedly ripped the heart and soul out of the club. And even as a football fan, and as funny as it is at times to poke fun at rivals, and yes, with the whole Gibbs-White thing, there has been a little bit of a tension between Wolves and Forest. Certainly in the last 3 games, I've been to the last 3 Wolves-Forest games, and you can certainly feel there's a bit of a tension in the air between the two clubs in the ground. But apart from that, as a football fan who's been there as well with Forest and with Fawaz Al-Hazawi, you have to feel a little bit of sympathy for them. And actually, again, it's not being spoken about enough. You look at when Wolves first came up with Nuno and with the players that they had. They obviously, Jorge Mendes influenced a lot of Portuguese players. Diogo Jota being one, Raul Jimenez, Ruben Neves, all these great players. And of course, they went on that run at the first time they were up and they got the Europa League and they were doing really well and they got through in that. And you looked at it and went, oh, this is fantastic. And then you're starting to wonder and go, right, well, what was the next step? And the next step since then has just been a gradual decline. And there's been some bizarre managerial appointments. There was obviously Vitor Pereira, who saved their season last year. Lopetegui left in cloudy, murky circumstances. Gary O'Neill. There's been those managers. There's been currently Rob Edwards, where it felt like Rob Edwards got the job perhaps because no one else really wanted it, and he has got the links with Wolves, obviously. But, you know, the owners have been asset stripping, and it showed us like there's lots of empty seats around Molineux. Now, I know it's 7:30 on Wednesday, but there was lots, and to be honest, you can't blame fans. Fans saying that they're being priced out of the ground. Obviously, there's not a lot of players, and I'll pride myself on the football knowledge, but I said to the people sat around me last night, there wasn't any names in that Wolves team that even remotely leapt off the team sheet, maybe apart from Strand Larsen, because the team isn't good enough. I fear for Wolves. I think they may break Derby's record. I know we've said that a few times about teams in recent years, but I do think they might be the one because there's not a lot going on there. And they looked awful last night. Really, really bad. Something's got to happen because I think Wolves could end up being another Leicester. Look at where Leicester are now and look at the struggles they're going through with finances. And you think, yeah, that could potentially happen to Wolves as well. But no one again seems to be talking about it. No one seems to care. And is it any wonder because it's just relentless top 6 coverage? But I could see last night and I can still see it. I think it may turn toxic at Molineux before long. And to be honest with you, I can't blame them because, like I say, we've been there with Fawaz. A lot of clubs have been there and understand what it's like when you just feel like your club's just descending into chaos. It's not good. As always, guys, though, please like, comment and subscribe. Anything you guys do is greatly appreciated as I try and become a one-man sports news bandwagon. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.